Welcome students. This is for Pharm D students of Sree Krishna College of Pharmacy and Research Center Parassala. Second Pharm D students, lecture number 2. And just last class we were discussing about the cohorts question papers for only a certain part of your syllabus, and I was just about the introduction part about cultivation, collection and the history. They have asked many questions we have discussed, and it's needed for always the student have to revise the questions. That's why I told you to write down and to bring to me. And this is also you have to listen this small topics, 2 lectures together I have clubbed together. They have asked repeatedly the questions for these topics which we come across today also. For pharmacognosy and phytopharmaceuticals. Lecture 2. Here we are going to discuss about definitions in pharmacognosy. We have seen the general what is pharmacognosy and what is the basic history behind, little, not the complete history behind. We have seen certain chronology. You have studied more in the first year itself. Here we are going to see some definition in pharmacognosy, certain things which you should know. What is official and what do you mean by unofficial drugs? Origin of drugs is needed for you to know. By origin of drugs, origin from where? The nature or biological origin source. Natural, that means natural, or you can say biological origin. Second one, you can say geographical source of drugs. From where? Which area? Which state? Which country? Which continent? The geographical source of the drug. Commercial origin source. Commercially, from where it is obtained. Whether it is from the plant or fruit or the root or from the seed or from the soil when you collected from a mineral or from a particular animal, a part. So commercially, for the product to be brought in the commerce or in the market, what's the source of origin? So the binomial system. What is binomial system? You should know that. The specific name is usually chosen to indicate the generic name, may also allude, that means include, may also allude or understand or the background understanding of the name to certain characters of the plant. Even in the generic name also and even in the species name also, we can have an identity or something will be allude. Behind understanding can be seen. We are going to discuss about that. What is that behind understanding? Official and unofficial drugs. Here, drugs are either official or unofficial. An official drug is one which is listed and described in a book recognized by the government of the legal authority for standards pharmacopoeia. That is British pharmacopoeia, United States pharmacopoeia, European pharmacopoeia, that is we have a Martindale, we have Indian pharmacopoeia. Every country will have their own pharmacopoeia. In case if a country is not having, they can, with the permission of the other developed country, it's possible to follow it. Origin of drugs. There are two origins of each drugs. The natural or biological as well as the geographical origin. The commercial origin is also of interest in case of certain drugs. Number one, natural or biological origin source. The natural origin of a drug is the plant or animal yielding it. If a plant, botanical origin or botanical source. If an animal, zoological origin or zoological source. Geographical sources of a drug. The geographical source or a habit is the region in which the plant or the animal yield the drug grows or yielding the drug grows. Plants growing in their native countries are said to be indigenous to this region. Example, Aconitum naphthalus. Naphthalus stands for the mountain region of Europe. It's indigenous to Europe. Hyoscyamus meticus is indigenous to Egypt. Cannabis sativa of India, it is indigenous to India. So that's what we want to say about what is a geographical source of drugs. Plants are said to be naturalized when they grow in a foreign land or in a locality other than their native home. Number 3, commercial origin source. So when you see the commercial origin, from which part, from which area of the plant or which animal, which part, from which animal or from mineral, from where the commercial origin of the drug refers to the production and its channel to the trade. Have the commercial origin. Primarily from plants, animals and minerals. That's what the pharmacognosy. Examples include plant parts even like senna leaves, which is obtained from the senna plants. Opium, which is obtained from the poppy fruit, the latex is collected. Animal source like musk deer. Musk is obtained from the deer, particular deer, which has a sac near to the scrotum and the penis part of the particular deer. There is a sac which contains the musk, having various therapeutic activity, various pharmacological activity. It has more use in the cardiac activity, anti-cancer, and there are many activities which is used for musk. So musk deer, the deer is the source. And the mineral sources like shilajit, a resinous substance from mountains. It's obtained from the mountains. So the commercial source also plays an important. So you have to know about first the source of a crude drug. The binomial system, the specific name is usually chosen to indicate the generic, mainly also allude to certain characters of the plant. I told allude means a meaning behind, the name, a reason behind. Something will be there. By means of the name we can identify. So even the generic name may also allude with a certain character of the plant. Cinchona ledgerania is a dried extract which is obtained from Cinchona ledgerania plant and which is more commonly used as an anti-malarial drug. Ledger is one of the scientist name. Even it is available in India. Cinchona ledgerania, Cinchona officinalis, Cinchona calislaya. There are many species are available. But we are talking about Cinchona ledgerania. It's due to the Swedish botanist Linnaeus. In this system, the first name, which is always spelt with capital. Cinchona will start with C, will be capital letter, denotes the genus. The second name denotes the species, where the species is named after the genus. It should be started with a small letter. The genus name is always capitalized and written first, and the species is epithet follows small letter genus name and not capitalized. There is no exception in this. The Lin is the scientist who identified the botanical names. Thus, the species of Cinchona, named after Charles Ledger, who brought the species from Brazil in 1865, is known as Cinchona ledgerania. Ledger is the name of the scientist who brought the species. So, the species name is given Ledgerania or Ledgerana. This is just a picture which shows dotted reddish spot in the stem. When we talk about this plant, this species or this genus or this species will be given as name maculate, the spotted, red spotted. We will discuss. The species name is usually chosen, species name. We are not talking about the genus. Now we are species name is usually chosen in binomial system to indicate, number one, some striking character of the plant can be taken. Number two, a character color. Number three, an aromatic plant of certain aroma. And number four, a geographical source or history of a drug. Number five, a pharmaceutical activity or an active constituent. Sixth one, a general meaning or a special indications can also be given. Number seven, the generic name may also, apart from the species name, even the generic name may also allude to certain characters of the plant. So generic also can identify what's the character of the plant. Species name also sometimes allude with a certain characteristic of the striking characteristic of the plant. So by that it's possible for you to see by the biological name or the botanical name itself, it's possible to identify the characteristic of a plant. The specific name is usually chosen to indicate, number one, some striking character of the plant, the first one. In that example, we are giving example by one, in which A, conium maculatum, I was telling maculate means spotted, stems are reddish, spotted patches in the previous slide which we have seen. This is conium maculatum, the common name hemlock. Hemlock, the name is given, conium is a genus name, maculatum is a species name. Maculatum specify the character of the plant, spotted, red spotted in the stem. Stem is reddish spotted patches. Number two example, Glycerissa glabra. Glabrous means smooth. It refers to the fruit or the pods of the drug, very smooth as shown in the picture. The pods, the fruits are very smooth. Actually, the roots are taken for the drug Adimaduram, Glycerissa glabra. So refers to the fruit of the species which is smooth pores. So the name glabra is given because the pores are very smooth. See example, Hyoscyamus miticus. Miticus means short, very short plant. The plant being very short, you can see the picture, Hyoscyamus miticus. Hyoscyamus miticus, miticus short. The species is very short plant, that's why the character of the plant is given to the name of botanical name. The plant is being very short. Next example, Atropa belladonna. Bella means beautiful. Donna means lady. Actually they gave this name belladonna because previously in Egyptian time the juice of the berry was used by the females of Egyptians for beautifying. It dilates the pupil. When it dilates the pupil, it looks an attractive eyes. So the juice of the berry placed in the eyes causes dilation of the pupil of the eye. Thus gives a striking appearance and attractiveness to the females. That's why the name was given. A character behind said Atropa belladonna. Bella means beautiful, Donna means lady. This Atropa belladonna, you can see the fruits, very interesting bluish ball-like color, and the flowers are bell-shaped. It's an interesting flower, and they have atropine, there are many constituents. It has tropine alkaloids. We will be studying about that later. Number 2, a character color. Example, Piper nigrum, black. So nigrum means black. Veratrum viride. Viride means green. Veratrum viride is highly useful medicinal use drugs. They are actually teratogen, which are useful for many purposes. Veratrum white is used in the disease of heart valves also and inflammatory conditions of the brain and spinal cord. Example, meningitis. Severe cases of hypertension where the systolic blood pressure is as high as 200 mg mercury or more. If it is high blood pressure, can be used by Viratra. Is also having many side effects. We have to discuss with the physicians for using any type of drugs, critical drugs. Next example, according to the color characteristic, we can say citrus aurantium or aurantium. Citrus aurantium is golden yellow. The meaning is golden yellow. You know very well, oranges, they are yellowish, golden yellowish color. So citrus aurantium. Digitalis purpurea, purple color. The flower is purplish color. You can see the picture. So that's why Digitalis purpurea. Digitalis lenata. They are cardiac glycosides. They are also yellowish color flower. That is why lenata. Lenata or luteae. Sorry, not lenata. Luteae. Digitalis luteae. Lenata is different. This is Digitalis luteae, yellow color. Even lenata also, another species, Digitalis lenata, slightly yellowish color. Specific yellowish we can say lutea. Digitalis lutea. So these examples the student should remember. Number 3, an aromatic plant. Aroma, certain aroma, flavor, fragrance, mystiga fragrance, having a fragrant, nice aroma. So that's why mystiga, nutmeg, jadikai. Mystica fragrance. We are using for many purpose for flavoring our food. Biryani, they might be using it. And various non-veg preparations and even vegetarian also, we used to use nutmeg, Mystica fragrance. Having a fragrant, nice aroma, that's why fragrance, the name species is given. And next example, Caryophyllus aromaticus. Caryophyllus aromaticus is actually we are using clove. Highly useful in food and as well as it's a very good medicinal activity drug. Another name for it is Eugenia caryophyllus also. Caryophyllus aromaticus, aroma. Clove is another name. There is species. There are many names, many botanical names before identified by many scientists because it's a very costly drug and very particular drug, very peculiar drug specific which was deciding the economy of a country. Previously, it's a monopoly and there were many people were depending on this drug previously. So, Syzygium aromaticum is also another name. Caryophyllus aromaticus, Eugenia caryophyllus. So, there are many names, many botanical names except they are constituent. Eugenol is constituent and aromaticus is a flavor. So, the characteristic behind the species and the genus, an example can be given very clearly. Next one is a geographical source or a history of a drug. Cannabis indica, growing in India. Cannabis, we know very well. The bhang which is used is actually a very interesting plant, but you have to have permission to grow because it is narcotic. Tamarind indica, which we are using in India, especially South India, we used to use more in our curries. Trichodesma africana, which is in Africa, which is obtained from Africa. So, the species name is given by the geographical source or geographical indigenous or geographical obtained or development or the origin gives the name of the species. Like Indica africana is decided by that. Even Europe means sometimes Zelanicum. Fifth one, the pharmaceutically activity, pharmacological activity, therapeutic application or an active constituent. For example, papaver somniferum is dealing with the pharmacological action. Somniferum means sleep inducing. Papaver somniferum, poppy fruit, which is highly useful, and Naxomica, Strychnus naxomica, vomiting. For the Latin words, nut cause vomiting. That's why Strychnus naxomica. You can see this, drugs which is available. Emipoia purga. Purga means purgative, laxative, evacuating the bowel. Laxative effect. That's why imopia or imoia, not imopia, ipomia. Sorry. Ipomia or ipomia, you can say, or ipomia purga. Ipomia purga, you are giving the name purga due to its laxative effect. Purgative, laxative, purgative, cathartic, evacuating the bowels of the intestine, emptying. Sixth one, in general meaning or a special indication. Allium sativum. Allium sativum, it is cultivated, salty cut, actually velutulli. When you talk about garlic, they are cultivated. Allium sativum. Triticum vulgare, it is obtained from wild. Cultivated is also there. But when you take wild from wheat, Triticum vulgare. Vulgare stands for wild, common wheat. Seventh one, generic name may also occlude. the generic name, that is about species name till now we have discussed. In generic name also sometimes occlude with the certain characters of the plant. Like atropa, atropa meaning flexible. The name of the Greek fled, cut the throat life. They were using for poisoning characters of this drug Atropa belladonna. So that's why it is called Atropa. The genus name itself they are given Atropa means cutthroat or to kill somebody using poison. So that's why they gave Atropa belladonna. Belladonna we know it is beautiful lady. Just now we have discussed. That is about species. This is about genus. So you see the example, one plant can be given two characters. The genus character Atropa is given because it's poisonous character. In Greek period, they gave this name because they have used this plant for poisoning their enemies. So that's why it is given Atropa belladonna. Belladonna is beautiful lady because the fruit's juice was used by the females, ladies, for beautifying. Bella donna. Bella stands for beauty, donna stands for lady. Just now we have discussed. Because it dilates the people and makes more attractive, more striking appearance for the female. So Glycyrrhiza glabra, we have seen Glycyrrhiza. Glabra we told smoothness for the species. Glycyrrhiza stands for glucose because it contains glucose, sweetness. So Rhiza, root. Rhiza stands for root. The roots Adi Madiram. The roots of Glycyrrhiza glabra. The Glycyrrhiza stands for its glucose, sweetness. So these are the examples which we can, very simple. Interesting to know about the 7 points, examples, how, what is the official, what is unofficial, what is pharmacopoeia. These all things I am just giving you a simple lecture. Now I want to thank you, but I want to continue the lecture for you. Just listen and write down very clearly and submit me along with that assignment of history, definitions, and this is also one short notes. Repeatedly they asked in the question of university. Scope of pharmacognosy. It's an interesting question they are asking repeatedly, scope of pharmacognosy. Scope of pharmacognosy, never you write about the never, no, I cannot say. Don't write only the definition and history. Definition and history can be written anywhere when they ask about pharmacognosy. But scope means what is the scope behind, where we can apply pharmacognosy, where it is applied. Meaning is that 5 mark question they are asking. Pharm D, second Pharm D students, lecture 3. What do you mean by the scope? First you should know. What do you mean by scope? When you come to a course, as I told, we have discussed in the class, we will be having a hope. We will thinking about the scope of the particular course, then only we are just selecting a course. You selected Pharm D by means of thinking that what is the scope of this Pharm D and what is your hope to join this course. The space of opportunity for action or thought. The space or opportunity for action or thought. That is the scope. Scope of pharmacognosy means natural medicines have been used to enhance human and veterinary health since time immemorial. Long back. Time immemorial means before 3000 years back, 3000, 4000 years back itself. Natural is the only medicine. Nature is the only medicine. Nature is the only thing which can be dependent for the human being and also for the animal. So natural medicine have been used to enhance the human and veterinary health since the immemorial, a long back, the initial stage. You can see that the success of modern medicine, success of synthetic medicine, success of medical sciences largely depends on the drugs originated, obtained from natural resources. Most of them, all of them. If you go on studying, basic thing we will get from the nature. We will get from the God. We will get from the blessings. We will get from the things which is obtained from the God. The Almighty which is given by through the nature was identified. We are inventing. We are discovering the things to how to utilize it. Scope of pharmacognosy, we can see number 1, phytochemistry. Number 2, botanico-chemical approach of pharmacognosy. Number 3, practice of pharmacognosy. Number 4, multidisciplinary high-tech science of natural medicines. Number 5, clinical pharmacognosy. Number 6, analytical pharmacognosy. Number 7, industrial pharmacognosy. Number 8 is metabolomic pharmacognosy. Number 9 is alternative and complementary medicines like Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, Chiropractic, many Chinese medicines, all of them comes with the scope of pharmacognosy, where a pharmacognosist have to be work there, have a contribution, have the scope towards this subject, have the scope to a division of this department. Genomic pharmacognosy, molecular pharmacognosy, and number 12, Journal of Pharmacognosy, and number 13, Pharmacognosy Institution. Still more, there are many. I have taken very few, which up to my knowledge. Still there are many scope where we can place ourselves if we know pharmacognosy, if we know about the natural medicine, if we know about the chemistry behind of all the natural sources of drugs, animal source, plant source and mineral sources. So when you know that, you know all the details, these 13 points have to be specified. What do you know about the scope of pharmacognosy? In the past, traditional medical knowledge or medicinal knowledge prevalent in the form of holy books. It was given. Holy herbs, incantations, procedures, magic remedies, herbal magics, folklores, traditional, indigenous medicines of each and every country, materia medica, which gave lots of natural sources, formulas, how to make Galen gave Galenical preparations. Other historical literature defined the preliminary guidelines for the authorization of plant-derived natural medicines. So phytochemistry, when you want to say about pharmacognosy scope in phytochemistry, includes the identification of the chemical constituents, classification, cultivation and the study of medicinal plants, focusing on their chemical constituents and biological activities for drug discovery and development. Botanico-chemical approach of pharmacognosy. Here the conventional medical practice or conventional medical practices adapted for identification and authentication of natural remedies eventually framed that is botanico-chemical approach. Botanico-chemical approach. You should authenticate when you want to go for a research. Botanico-chemical approach to pharmacognosy during the year 19th century itself. However, the last 200 years witnessed as a substantial metamorphosis, change in the system of the plant animals, in the principle of practice of pharmacognosy, and it has become an essential domain of It is the essential domain of the study of metamorphosis, the domain of the modern pharmaceutical sciences as a multidisciplinary high-tech science of natural medicines. So metamorphosis means you should know what is it. From eggs, worms, pupa, then butterfly. Every system will have their development. So these developments of the nature can be studied by pharmacognosy. So metamorphosis pharmacognosy. In a complementary context, the systematic study of natural medicine in the terms of purity, potency of the constituents, potency of the phytoconstituents, consistency and safety have been the major issue in pharmacognosy. We know that WHO and ICH, WHO World Health Organization and ICH International Community for Harmonization of Pharmaceutical Industrial Practice, where they insist that natural drugs, herbal drugs, alternative medicines, which many prepared herbal natural drugs, there should be an evidence to show that safety and efficacy. Safety and efficacy of the patient is important for the pharmaceutical care and the health care. So that's why we used to work on, the pharmacognosist work on the potency, consistency, safety to have become the major issue in the pharmacognosy have to be designed and the study. Practice of pharmacognosy, multidisciplinary high-tech science of natural medicine. You have, moreover, most of the present days, drug discoveries have been increasingly adapting traditional medicine, natural medicine, indigenous medicine, alternative medicine, traditional medicine based approach to increase results and to address safety concern. So clinical pharmacognosy, clinically evidence is needed. When you say this plant, this leaf, this root, this extract is having certain effect towards therapeutic effect, clinical pharmacognosy and toxicology is very important. Safety as well as efficacy. Efficacy is there, but safety is more important. So clinical pharmacognosy is also a scope for the student who studied the pharmacognosy. Analytical pharmacognosy, analytical procedures, evaluating procedures, identifying qualitative, quantitative procedures, analytical pharmacognosy. Then the industrial pharmacognosy, production of herbal formulation, different tablets, sustained release tablets, capsules, injections, new novel drug delivery systems, phytosomes, nanoparticles, encapsulations, different release of drugs, transdermal implants. So all industrial pharmacognosy needs to have the herbal drug technology comes to the pharmacognosy. So industrial pharmacognosy is one of the interesting topic where you have the scope of pharmacognosy. Thus have been established as the specialized and professional offshoot of pharmacognosy to meet the complementary advancement in the field of pharmacognosy. Furthermore, molecular pharmacognosy. What do you mean by molecular pharmacognosy? When you work in a tissue culture, a plant cell can be taken for even isolation of DNA, selective PCR, and you can see that polymerase chain reaction, DNA sequence, and then it is an example of taxon. Taxon is identified from Taxus plant cell and it has been identified for various uses. It has anti-cancer effect, highly useful, highly potent, having an effect of anti-megaloplastic. It is neoplastic effect against cancerous growth for various type of cancers. You know very well now, cancer became a normal, free disease everywhere. In a home we have one or two people. So it's an interesting job in molecular pharmacognosy. Genomic pharmacognosy is also gene coding, changing the code of a gene, preparing a hybrid plant, and preparing an edible vaccine. There are many type of productions in biotechnology where we can work in genomic pharmacognosy. And metabolomic pharmacognosy, as we are told, metabolic changes in the plant itself, in the animal itself, in the nature, how a primary metabolite is converted into a secondary metabolite. What are the various steps? What is the precursor? What are the enzymes responsible? That can be studied. And if the product is not available in the nature, the demand is more, synthetic production can be made by means of studying, by means of various metabolic pathway. So metabolic pharmacognosy, by means of many techniques, if I want to say, it's a wide subject of metabolomic pharmacognosy. To generate the metabolic pharmacognosy, you should know about very instrumental applications for characterization of the structure, characterization of the metabolic pathways. So metabolomic profile can be done by spectroscopic and spectrometric techniques, are used such as high field NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance, MS means mass spectroscopy, and spectrometric detection of such as HPLC, high performance liquid chromatography, ultra high performance liquid chromatography, UHPLC, and gas chromatography to separation of the compound, mixture of compounds, minute compounds, and capillary electrophoresis, and 2D, 3-dimensional, 2-dimensional chromatography, and supercritical chromatography. These all instruments applications and study can be utilized for metabolomic investigations of precursors, conversion of the metabolites, formation of secondary metabolite. The structural characterization can be studied in metabolomic pharmacognosy. This is the scope. Metabolomic pharmacognosy have been deemed as the promising approach of pharmacognosy research to accommodate future demands in molecular biology, biotechnology, and analytical chemistry of natural medicines plus medicinal plants. Nevertheless, interdisciplinary collaborative research programs are essential for integrated development of traditional medicine, related to the traditional medicine, alternative medicine, Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, Chinese medicine, chiropractic, various system of African medicine. These all systems have to be interlinked, develop a traditional medicine, and pharmacognosy research and educations should have an essential integrated courses, integrated work should be done. Always that is also having a scope of pharmacognosy. Ayurveda, yoga, naturopathy, Unani, Siddha, homeopathy, this all comes in a ministry of Ayush. And we have many therapy, body-based practice, herbs and dietary supplements, manipulation and body-based practice, reflexology and massage, energy, alternative means energy healing, we have Reiki therapy, Qing Kong Chinese therapy, and when you come for even whole body system or whole medical systems, homeopathy, acupuncture, mind body therapy, yoga, meditation. So you see, This pictures also you should be denoted. This all the scope of pharmacognosy. Alternative medicine, different alternative medicines. When we come to scope of journals, journalism, pharmacognosy, journal, once a research or an identification is made, characterization is made, it has to be published, it has to be approved. So journalism, how to write a journal, how to write a reference, from where you referred, what do you mean by review? Review research, original research, these all have to be published. The scope of the journal is to provide an international opportunity for encouraging novel discussions and thus contributing the best understanding the use of natural products and their effects, where the pharmacognosy is having the scope for curing many diseases naturally and benefiting the readers. One who read, he will understand, oh, this plant, this root, this rhizome is utilized for this treatment. The benefits will be benefiting the readers, how it is expressed in the journal. Authors, by accelerating and dissemination the research information. That is very important, the streamlining, writing. That's a very good, interesting, and also the work will be more skilled work. The cognoscist who is having the scope in journal, providing maximum access towards current academic and clinical information of the current topics. The submission of original contribution, original research contribution in all areas of pharmacognosy are welcome in publications. Just an examples of few, there are many. The International Journal of Pharmacognosy and Chinese Medicine, IPCM, is a new journal published by Medwin Publication International Standard Series of ISSN 26764772. Some example I have just taken. There are many, thousands are there. And you can see Journal of Pharmacognosy and Phytochemistry, official publication, Society of Pharmacognosy and Phytochemistry, ISSN print 2349 8239, ISSN online 22794136. And there is Journal of Pharmacognosy and Phytochemistry. And there is Pharmacognosy Journal. There is Pharmacognosy Life Science Journal and Asian Society of Pharmacognosy, International Journal of Pharmacognosy and Phytochemistry Research, and the Brazilian Journal of Pharmacognosy, and Cognosy Magazine, weekly, monthly magazines are there, Journal of Pharmacognosy Natural Products. Still there are many local languages, international in English, there are many in Latin, their own local languages also. We have many natural pharmacognosy containing journals. Just a minute, it was not to be seen very clearly, so just we can reduce here so that it is possible for the student to see clearly. So this is about the institutions present. The Pharmacognosy Special Institution is there, PHCI, in Illinois at the UIC College of Pharmacy, was established in 2020. It evolved from the University of Illinois Chicago, UIC, Botanical Center, the number P50800155 in 1999 to 2022, or indicates UIC hallmark program in pharmacognosy specifically. It is denoted PCOG. And the adjacent the natural product science, such as the Program of Collaborative Research of Pharmaceutical Sciences, PCRPS, established in 1984. This is the website, you can go and see. The University of Illinois Chicago, UIC College of Pharmacy, is located in two campuses, Chicago and Rockford. It says institution, TIE, Pharmacognosy Institute, especially Technology Institute is there in two places in Chicago and Rockford. So in technology integrated ethnobotany, TIE means the Pharmacognosy Institution is built in 3 columns: technology, industrial, integration with traditional and ethnobotany, aimed as TIEing natural products research together. This allows a holistic yet comprehensive evaluation of plant-based medicine, dietary supplements, and functional foods. Points should be remembered in the scope of pharmacognosy: enhance human and veterinary health, holy books, incantation, folklore, materia medica is the base, botanico-chemical approach of pharmacognosy, and we should remember, just a minute, I will show you. We can bring it here. Practice of pharmacognosy, and this also we can bring it down so that it will be visible. So you can see here we told about enhanced human and veterinary health, the scope of pharmacognosy, it behind from the whole holy book, incantations, folklore, basic traditional and materia medica, and botanico-chemical approach of pharmacognosy, practice of pharmacognosy, and then comes clinical pharmacognosy, analytical pharmacognosy, industrial pharmacognosy, molecular pharmacognosy, genomic pharmacognosy, metabolomic pharmacognosy, and integrated development of traditional medicine and pharmacognosy research and education. Then comes Journal of Pharmacognosy. Finally, Pharmacognosy Institution in Illinois. So you should explain this much detail by what do you mean by scope of pharmacognosy. Simply a definition or a history of pharmacognosy is not the scope of pharmacognosy. Scope of pharmacognosy where you have the placement, where I can develop, what I can do for the society, what is my contribution after getting my knowledge. As I told in the classroom, the knowledge is also like energy, can be transferred. It can be given to one person. It can be shared. It can be neither be created nor be destroyed. It can have to be shared. So we have to acquire by means of the scope of pharmacognosy. Thank you. Thank you for listening this lecture. Write it down all the 3 lectures clearly, including the university exam question paper, and it has to be submitted on the Monday. You have plenty of time. Listen, write down, and next make it clear. This is very, very important. Requesting to the student again, subscribe my channel so that you will get the new classes automatically. Thank you. Thank you for being the class, listening to the class.